Senator Wessel, you prepare to take up the pass on file. File item 19, Senator Pan. Okay, Senator Wessel, we're gonna go back to file item 18. Senator Wessel, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 631 by Senator Wessel, an act relating to the Public Utilities Commission.
Senator Wessel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pardon the confusion. SB 631 is a bill to update the fee charged on applications for Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, which are required of utilities, including telephone corporations, prior to constructing, expanding, or extending services. Processing a CPCN application is a lengthy and in-depth public process involving analysis of need and costs and often review of California Environmental Quality Act documents with required public workshops and formal hearing, blah, blah, blah. The costs of processing a CPCN application are not well reflected in the $75 fee established in law nearly half a century ago, 1969. Legislation is needed to adjust the fee. The bill is a simple change in statute to better reflect the current reasonable costs of processing a CPCN application while allowing for continued adjustments reflective of the pace of inflation. I urge an aye vote today. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. No. Gaines. Galgiani. Glazer. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Hill. Aye. Wessel. Aye. Huff. No. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Morrell. No. Wynn. Nilsson. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Anderson. No. Berryhill. No. De Leon. Aye. Gaines. Galgiani. Glazer. Hall. Hertzberg. Aye. Morlock. No. Wynn.
Ayes 24, noes 11. The Assembly amendments are concurred in. Moving now to file item 19. Senator Pan, Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 55 by Senator Pan relative to the centennial of the founding of Locke, California.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. SCR 55 celebrates the centennial anniversary of Locke, California, and is returned to the Senate. The amendments in the Assembly simply add co-authors to this resolution. This resolution had bipartisan support, no opposition. I respectfully ask for an aye vote on concurrence with Assembly amendments. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Anderson, aye. Bates. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wessel. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Nilsson. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call the absent members.
Bates, aye. Gaines. Aye. Hall. Win.
Ayes 38, no 0. The Assembly amendments are concurred in. Moving on to file item 20, Senator McGuire. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 141 by Senator McGuire, an act relating to tide and submerged lands.
Senator McGuire.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. President. Members, SB 141 is a district-specific bill that clarifies ambiguity in existing code regarding the Humboldt Bay Harbor Recreation and Conservation District's ability to sell after acquired lands. SB 141 is back for concurrence and was amended in the Assembly to add additional requirements for the notification to the State Lands Commission of the proposed disposal of after acquired lands. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, to better discussion on this item. To better discussion, Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question for the author.
Senator McGuire, would you like to take a question?
Any time from the senator.
Please proceed, Senator
For the
Morlock.
senator of Sonoma County, I voted for this the last time, but there's just a language alteration or matter that has me concerned. Is there an intent to sell land acquired by eminent domain to third parties?
So this was an issue that was brought up. We had no votes in committee on the Republican side. What we believe is the amendment exceeded the scope and purpose of the legislation and is a restriction on the district's existing authority. And then also on the state lands view, state lands believes that the suggestion for that proposed amendment was inconsistent with state lands' objective in suggesting the bill, which is a clarifying ambiguity relating to whether the district can dispose of lands purchased with the trust revenue, which is why we decided not to take that one amendment.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, members. Additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing, hearing none, Senator McGuire, would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Allen, aye. Anderson, no. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. No. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. No. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. No. Wynn. Nilsson. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call the absent members.
De Leon. Gaines. No. Hall. Win.
Ayes 26, noes 11. The Assembly amendments are concurred in. Members, moving to file item 21. Senator Liu. Senator Liu, are you prepared to take up pass on file? Members, that is our first run at unfinished business. We will now move to Senate third reading, starting with file item 25. Senator Stone. Secretary, please read.
Senate Joint Resolution 10 by Senator Stone relative to federal investment tax credit.
Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. SJR 10 is a simple resolution that calls upon Congress to extend the federal investment tax credit for solar energy. Currently, this tax is scheduled to expire at the end of 2016. If this were to happen, the tax credit for residential use sunsets entirely, and the tax credit for commercial use will fall from 30% to 10%. The loss of the investment credit would not only lead to significant job losses in California and beyond in 2017, but would also make solar energy less affordable to all who want to take advantage of this source of clean energy. Over the years, California has been a leader as we look for alternative sources of energy. This tax credit for solar energy is a proven tool for both homeowners and business owners to reduce their energy costs and is worthy of being extended. I would request respectfully for your a vote on this resolution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Members, a better discussion on this item. Senator Pavley.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Senator Stone for carrying this bill and urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none. Senator Stone, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, is there any objection to utilizing our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the resolution's adopted. Moving on to file item 26, Senator McGuire. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 82 by Senator McGuire relative to California Runaway and Homeless Youth Month.
Senator McGuire.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Would be honored if this distinguished body would declare this coming November as California Runaway and Homeless Youth Month. The number of runaway and homeless youth here in California and across the nation is overwhelming. Studies state that 1.6 to 1.8 million young people between the ages of 12 and 24 are on our streets, and in many cases, these young people are homeless and have no place to turn to for support or services. They are the most vulnerable in our state. They've been expelled from their homes by their families, physically, sexually, and emotionally abused, or discharged from foster care without adequate transition plans. A staggering 46% of runaway and homeless youth reported being physically abused, 38% reported being emotionally abused, and 17% reported being forced into unwanted sexual activity by a family or household member. A 2008 California Homeless Youth Project survey found that 72% of youth reported interactions with law enforcement. Most homeless and runaway youth are on the street because they feel there are no other options. Providing safe, stable, and permanent housing for these young people must be a priority. The number of effective programs providing services and support to these vulnerable young people in California is a fraction of what it is needed to fully address their needs. And that is why the State Senate is focused on their well-being of these amazing young people. We are here today to celebrate them, continue our focus on strengthening services and programs for our most vulnerable young people, and bringing them desperately needed reforms to our state's foster care system. Mr. President, we do have representatives, both youth as well as adult representatives representing foster youth and runaway youth in our gallery. We have Maureen Bueller, we have Ellen Bailey, Refugio Panada, along with Paul Curtis, all here to be able to celebrate Homeless and Runaway Youth Month in SCR 82. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the resolution is adopted.
Thank you.
Moving on to file item 27, Senator Runner. Pass on file. File item 28, Senator Wolk. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 83 by Senator Wolk relative to the International Year of Soils.
Senator Wolk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm honored to present this resolution with my joint author, Senator Galgiani. SCR 83 will declare 2015 as the International Year of Soils. It draws attention to the importance of healthy soil as a critical component of food, habitat, water storage, and climate resiliency. At its best, it can absorb carbon and provide a healthier future. I ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion. Senator Galgiani.
Thank you. As joint author, I would like to echo Senator Wolk's comments and thank her for authoring the measure with me. More than 60 years, California has been the #1 agriculture state in the nation, producing over 400 commodities and roughly 50% of all U.S. fruits, vegetables, and nuts. As chair of the Senate Agriculture Committee and representative of many farmers working the rich soils of the San Joaquin Valley, I understand the importance that soil plays in producing not only an abundant harvest, but preserving and improving the land for generations to come. By improving soil carbon access across California, we can increase soil water holding capacity, which is especially important during this 4th year of the prolonged drought. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Thank you. Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I certainly rise in support of this as one who has spent his life dealing with the soil, and in many cases a very hard type soil called hardpan. I inculcated into my being what I call hardpan values by virtue of that experience. I would remind this honorable body, though, we need different things in addition to soil, that be water and air and farmers. Now, farmers are at peril in the state of California, and many things that happen in government have made them in peril. But my fundamental point is this legislature passed Proposition 1 last year. The voters overwhelmingly supported Proposition 1. One of the provisions was $2.7 billion for surface storage. We need to communicate with the State Water Commission the importance of getting that moved along, that storage, surface storage built. That helps all Californians. The trust of the voters is at stake here. So as we support our soil, let's remember we need the water as well. This would be the first surface storage since the Oroville Dam was built in the area that I represent. We cannot conserve our way into the future. So as we speak up for our soils, let's add to that the need for water. And please communicate with the Water Commission the beneficial use of water for the purposes of agriculture, environmental uses, and recreational use.
Thank you. Members, additional debate or discussion on this item? If not, Senator Wolk, would you like to close?
I ask for your aye vote.
Members, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Members, moving on to item 29, Senator Glate. Oh, right, sorry. Members, file item 30, Senator Morrell. Pass on file. File item 31, Senator Hill. Pass on file. File item 32, Senator McGuire. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 79 by Senator McGuire relative to Tryon-Annandale State Park.
Senator McGuire.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Annandale State Park is located in Sonoma County and features breathtaking ancient oak trees, flowing creeks when we don't have a drought, meadows which bloom spring and summer wildflowers, and conifer forests. The park boasts miles of hiking and biking trails as one of the unique features of this park. And one of the best features is it's within walking distance or short drive for tens of thousands of residents located near Sonoma County's largest city, the city of Santa Rosa. SCR 79 will urge the California State Park and Recreation Commission to add Trione's name to the Annandale State Park title in order to recognize Henry Trione and his contributions to Sonoma while retaining Annandale in the park's original name. The new name would simply be Trione-Annandale State Park. Henry Trione was a long-term resident of Sonoma County before his death at the age of 94. He was a true Renaissance Californian who created a legacy across the entire North Coast region. He started out from humble roots, where he was a son of Italian immigrants who founded a Humboldt County bakery. He was a Navy veteran, and after returning from World War II, he became a successful local business person. Trione gave away much of his fortune in support of the arts, social service programs to help the neediest North Bay Area residents, and he spearheaded the effort to create one of our most beloved parks locally, and that's Annandale in the late 1970s. In fact, many believe Trione's most significant and enduring contribution to the state of California is the creation of Annandale State Park. During the budget crisis in 2012, when state parks were closing down, once again, Mr. Trione stepped up and was the one who personally provided the majority of the funds needed to keep the state park open. He helped rally the community to keep the park accessible to the public and under county administration. The California State Parks Foundation, Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, the Santa Rosa City Council, along with the North Bay delegation, including Senator Wolk, Assembly members Wood, Levine, and Dodd, and congressional members Huffman and Thompson are all in support of this initiative. Finally, Mr. President, the Trione family has agreed to cover all costs associated with adding the Trione name to the state park title. Would respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Members, the better discussion on this item. The better discussion. Senator Nielsen.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I know Mr. Henry Trione very well. He's a longtime and personal friend, a very successful developer, but also a very generous man in all respects. donating the land originally for Annandale Park. Served on the State Parks Commission for many years. That would be a very proper acknowledgement of a great man's service to his state, providing parks not just for Annandale and Sonoma County, but Henry Truoney fought for parks everywhere. A conservative Republican, but a true believer in our state parks. I urge an aye vote.
Members, additional debate or discussion on this item. Senator McGuire, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do want to say thank you to the senator for his eloquent words and would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call on this item? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the resolution is adopted. Moving on to file item 33, Senator Jackson, not at her desk. File item 34, Senator Hall. Pass on file. File item 35. Oh, I'm sorry. Members, we're going to move to Assembly third reading, beginning with file item 55. Senator Runner, are you prepared to take up this item? Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 294 by Assemblymember Lackey, an act relating to Health and Human Services.
Senator Runner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, and members. I'm honored to present AB 294, which is authored by Assemblyman Tom Lackey. It'll increase transparency for California Health and Human Services programs. AB 294 is a simple bill that requires Health and Human Services agencies to post approved state plans and federal waivers in a prominent location on their website. Under current law, in too many cases, the only way to receive this information is through the Public Information Act. AB 294 will remedy this challenge by requiring that they are made available online. This bill has received bipartisan support, and I ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call on this item? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the measure passes. Moving on to file item 57, Senator Stone. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1089 by Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia, an act relating to the Coachella Valley Mountains Conservancy.
Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow colleagues, AB 1089 is a simple bill that would expand the Coachella Valley Mountain Conservancy governing board and territory to include the cities of Indio and Coachella. The cities of Indio and Coachella are members of the Coachella Valley Association of Governments, commonly known as CVAG, which oversees the implementation of the Multi-Species Habitat Conservation Plan. Because the Conservancy is CVAG's Multi-Species Habitat Conservation Plan implementing partner, not having the cities of Indio and Coachella on the Conservancy Board has the potential to disrupt any future economic development opportunities in my district. To ensure inclusivity, better coordination and communication, including the cities of Indio and Coachella on the Conservancy Board and its territory, it is needed. This measure passed the Assembly floor and communities unanimously with no votes. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the measure passes. Moving on to file item 62, Senator Jackson. Pass on file. File item 68, Senator Berryhill. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1359 by Assemblymember Nazarian, an act relating to optometry.
Senator Berryhill.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. AB 1359 establishes a process for obtaining certification to administer and prescribe therapeutic pharmaceutical agents for optometrists who graduated from optometry school before 1996. Try saying that 3 times fast. A TPA certification indicates that the optometrist is certified to treat only certain eye conditions. Prior to 1996, TPA certification was available as a standalone course. However, post-1996, TPA certification was made mandatory for optometrists. In 2009, optometry schools stopped offering the standalone TPA course at all. So, AB 1359 creates a pathway for about 700 optometrists who have not yet attained a TPA certification. State cost is negligible. AB 1359 has no opposition and received no votes, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our previous unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 38, no 0, the measure passes. Members, we're going to move back temporarily to file item 63. Senator Jackson, Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 83 by Assemblymember Campos relative to the California Commission on the Status of Women and Girls.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. This is ACR 83, a resolution that will congratulate the California Commission on the Status of Women on their 50th anniversary. Some of us are old enough to not only remember many, many years ago their 15th or 20th. I was honored way back when, during Jerry Brown's first administration, to serve on the commission and actually to chair it as well. So I bring this to you with a notion that it has served the people of California for the past 50 years as an independent, nonpartisan voice within state government for California's women and girls. It was established back in 1965 by former Governor Pat Brown and was made a permanent commission by the legislature and then Governor Ronald Reagan in 1971. It has served on many different levels for the women and girls of our state, addressing issues such as sexual assault, domestic violence, the need to identify programs by which young girls and women can improve in areas related to engineering and non-traditional roles. It has also worked to help women, particularly women veterans who have particular needs as they serve our country and return to civilian life. This resolution will congratulate the Commission for its achievements and for being an important source of information and data for the legislature in areas that impact women and girls. It also has assisted state agencies, nonprofits, and individuals for the last half century and hopefully for the next. Both Senator Mitchell and I have chaired this commission in the past, and while the issues addressed then, things like equal pay, women in poverty, and sexual and domestic violence, unfortunately remain just as relevant today. The Commission has done great work to mitigate those problems and offer meaningful solutions. I would respectfully ask you to join with me in an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the resolution's adopted. Moving on to file item 66, members. Senator Leno, Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 147 by Assemblymember DeBobne, an act relating to post-secondary education.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, when dogs and cats are used for research purposes at our post-secondary educational institutions, there are federal, state, and local requirements as to how they need to be treated through the process of the research. But once the research is completed, there's a void. There are no further requirements. What this bill will do is that once the research is completed and it's been determined that the animal does not have to be killed and that it is suitable for adoption, then there would be a requirement that the institution contact an animal rescue organization so that an adoption can proceed. There were some amendments taken in Senate Education which clarified that is the role of the institution to determine whether a research animal is adoptable. As a result, the University of California and the University of Southern California have removed their opposition. I ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, I, Anderson. Bates. I, Bell. I, Berryhill. I, Block. I, Canella. I, De Leon. Fuller. I, Gaines. Galgiani. I, Glazer. Hall. Hancock. I, Hernandez. I, Hertzberg. I, Hill. I, Hueso. I, Huff. I, Jackson. I, Lara. I, Leno. I, Leva. I, Liu. I, McGuire. I, Mendoza. I, Mitchell. Monning. I, Morlock. I, Morrell. I, Wynn. Nilsson. I, Pan. I, Pavley. I, Roth. I, Runner. Stone. I, Vidak. I, Wachowski. I, Wolk. Wolk, aye. Glazer, aye. Anderson, aye.
Call the absent members.
De Leon. Aye. Gaines. Hall. Mitchell. Aye. Wynn. Runner.
Ayes 36, noes 0. The measure passes. Members, going to file item 70. Senator Hertzberg.